Late one night, Sarah sat alone in her small, creaky apartment. The rain pattered softly against the windows as she sipped her tea, trying to unwind after a long day at work. Her cat, Felix, sat curled up on the couch beside her. The room was dim, only the soft glow of a lamp casting shadows on the walls. Suddenly, she heard a faint tapping sound coming from somewhere near the hallway. She looked over at Felix, but he seemed unfazed, his eyes closed in contentment. The tapping continued, rhythmic, as if someone was gently knocking at her door. Curious, Sarah stood up, walking cautiously toward the sound. As she reached the hallway, the tapping stopped. She felt a chill crawl up her spine, but chalked it up to her nerves. Perhaps it was the wind or the house settling, she thought. She opened the door. No one was there. Confused, Sarah closed the door and turned back to the living room. But then she noticed Felix was no longer on the couch. The faintest scratching noise came from behind her. She whipped around, heart pounding. Felix sat perfectly still at the foot of the hallway, staring intently at something out of view. His fur bristled and his pupils were wide with terror. Sarah followed his gaze but saw nothing. The tapping resumed, louder this time, coming from deeper in the apartment. Panic surged through her as she grabbed her phone, ready to call for help. But then something caught her eye. The reflection in the hallway mirror. There, in the glass, was a figure standing just behind her. She spun around, empty. But when she looked back at the mirror, the figure was still there. Only now, it was closer, its hollow eyes locked onto hers, its pale fingers pressed against the mirror, as if it were trying to reach through. The tapping grew frantic. Then, the lights flickered, and a whisper, barely audible, came from the darkness. "Let me in!" Sarah screamed and ran out of the apartment, never looking back. To this day, she still can't shake the feeling that someone was waiting for her to return.